All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And Cody's got an interesting thesis that he wants to share with us concerning the vernacular and the form of speech that Andrew Yang engages in. He thinks it's better a certain way. Cody, tell us what's going on.
One way phrase, isn't it? But yes, recently, I would just say in general, I've been following Yang for a while, and every time I see him in person, I've seen him speak anywhere, there's definitely, I can tell when that kind of switch gets flipped and he is kind of, the person he normally is comes out from behind the, everyone's got, no one goes up there in public speaking and goes, well, you kind of have a thing. Anyway, I'll highlight this tweet. So Andrew Yang put out a tweet. I'm just going to read it. Apologize for the language. He said, God damn, this shit is infuriating. Gary Locke is as American as the day is long. Trump rewriting history is as if he effectively responded to the virus as utter garbage. We lost 70 days and thousands of lives due to his incompetence and disregard for what was happening overseas. Swearing is the constant, but there is this realness from him that I always love to see. And I do think it's one of the things that makes Yang, I think it's something he walked away from too much when he was campaigning a little bit. It came out every now and then, and I loved it. One of my personal favorite times it came out, actually happened to be there, but I thought this was a really cool little moment at his rally in Los Angeles. We'll play this. But I don't know, it just when he would...
Yang does beat Trump, Los Angeles. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors. And if Donald Trump's the scissors, I'm the fucking rock.
Kind of goofy, right? Just a little thing.
Okay.
But I will say, there's something about, there's this, and a lot of people do it. I'd probably do it on this, where you kind of revert just who your actual personality is, and you kind of drop whatever preparation you brought in. Yeah. And I think that's when Andrew Yang really, really does kind of cut through a lot of the nonsense and resonate with people. And it's something that I think he could bring. And one last thing I want to show, just to build my case for why I do like Andrew Yang when he swears like this. This, I think, is one of my favorite Andrew Yang moments from the entire campaign. And we will run this clip really quick. And then I'll get a little more of the serious stuff.
First word. That doesn't seem like a smart thing to say here.
Because it's the most evocative.
Favorite curse word.
This was a great video that highlighted something interesting and highlighted the politician-y nature of like a Pete Buttigieg compared to Andrew Yang. It's something I always liked about Andrew Yang early on. He always brought that kind of, like Pete Buttigieg, well, I don't think that's a good idea to give an answer to that. And Andrew
Get out of here, bro.
The larger thing I'm trying to get to here, and someone else, and I want to take credit for this, but someone else brought this up. See if I can find their tweet, but if not, just the general concept of, I think now that Andrew Yang isn't running anymore, right? He's out of the race. This is a really, this kind of more real form of communication that people respond to. Uh-huh. It's kind of funny. Yeah, you can play it safe and remove criticism, but you'll notice people who play it safe don't tend to get very much attention either because it's boring and bland. This is where Andrew could shake things up. I think this righteous indignation might not be the exact word for it, but do you see what I mean? This little bit of like, look, I'm done playing around, I'm done with the games. Like, let's just get to this stuff. But it could be very effective for one, currently, I guess Joe Biden, right? I mean, that's who he endorsed right now. That's who he's running. But larger so, I would love to see Andrew Yang be this kind of voice. When you look at Humanity Forward, one of the things Humanity Forward is about is backing and supporting various UBI candidates. And I think now that Andrew Yang isn't necessarily running himself, and he's basically a media personality now. He's going to be starting a podcast, stuff like that. I think this less refined and more true to himself, Andrew Yang, really is an asset that I want to see him bring out more. That's all I want to say is whenever I see him do something like this, it might come across a little bit, use some crude language sometimes. But I mean, I could show you, this is one of, popular tweets, got something 67,000 likes, something like that. I believe he had another profanity-filled tweet when Bernie Sanders dropped out. In his support for Bernie, it was a good tweet for Bernie. But my larger point being is, I really want to see more of this. If Andrew Yang is moving to become essentially a media personality, which to boost his brand for his next endeavor, which is smart and I agree with, by the way, I think this is the way you should do it, man. I really do. Hey, moving towards an open form podcast, I don't think there's many language restrictions. I don't think we'll be dropping F-bombs left and right. But to be honest, it kind of seems like Andrew Yang is the kind of guy who does drop F-bombs left and right when I see him relaxed and more natural and not always feeling like, he's not on stage, not being a politician, which is something that you could definitely see. It happens to everyone, even the best of them. You'll notice when even kind of veteran people of these campaigns drop out, there's those few days when you see these people when they first drop out where they take a deep breath and they act who they are. But this was a quote Andrew Yang was given just after he dropped out of the election or suspended his campaign. Andrew. He said, you know, I'm not a dick. Like, obviously, someone like offers me something serious and impactful, we can help to do some good work. I'm not going to be like, fuck that, in reference to any kind of cabinet position from another candidate. Again, I understand it's not the thing, but I do think that I'm not alone in this. Let me know in the comments if I am. When Andrew Yang does this kind of stuff, it really makes me like him more. It really does. It reminds me, the reason why I wanted to do this video, seeing this tweet yesterday kind of reminded me of that less refined, true outsider personality Andrew Yang brought with him early, which I get. It's kind of, there's so much pressure to drop the stuff you kind of do. But I really hope to see that Andrew Yang, he's not running for president anymore. He's not representing all of Yang 2020 anymore. He's not trying to beat, he's not trying to, all he's trying to do now, hopefully, is be himself to boost his brand and help other people win on UBI. I think this person is a surrogate and a mouthpiece for a lot of these people running that are, just smaller profile candidates inspired by him. I think that's the most effective thing he has, because he has a great electric personality. It's why people like him. I think some of that got buried by the end of his campaign here. I'd like to see it come out. I mean, you can definitely tell on CNN. It seemed like if he ever got a little bit too spicy on CNN, they were quick with they didn't ask him a question again for a while, because that's not the platform for it. And so hopefully Yang Speaks is different, but in general, man, keep this up, Yang. I like it. I don't know how you feel about it, Carden. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, but seeing this yesterday just reminded me of the guy that I saw on that Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm like, that guy is cool, and I believe in what he believes in. And I just thought it was really cool to see that.
So I don't want to say I disagree, because I disagree with some things, but I don't disagree with others. And I would say that I have a love-hate relationship with swearing. First off, I'm one who does not like it, nor appreciate it that much. If it gets excessive in cinema, unless it's extremely authentic, okay? But when it becomes a thing for the sake of the thing, like art for the sake of art, I don't like it, okay? However, at the same time, I really agree with Thelonious Monk, who said a genius is the one most like himself. That nothing can be worse than somebody trying to shroud for social reasons, perhaps, how one truly feels. And, similar to Andrew Yang, sometimes there's just no replacement for the F-bomb. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah. Sometimes there's no replacement for them, right? However, I also agree that the reason there's no replacement might be because you have not educated your mind enough. Gordon B. Hinckley said something very interesting once. He said, he didn't say swear words, but he said, profanity is the efforts of a feeble mind to express itself forcibly. And so for me, I don't judge you if you swear. I'm not one of those no curse club kids, but I definitely don't appreciate it myself. I think by and large, it casts a shadow upon you that weakens your brand more than it strengthens that brand, unless, of course, I guess the audience is you. So I might be being proven wrong in my own podcast here. But I've always looked at it as I don't strive for it or against it, but I do strive to speak forcibly when I can. So I want to learn as much of the English language and the spoken word to be able to speak myself forcibly. And then that way I don't judge myself or others if there's no other word for it except for...
Okay, yeah, I know you way overthought what I was saying. My larger thing is when Andrew Yang seems
Doug, you dog on all my deep thoughts, man.
I think you missed my point, though. My larger point was this. I don't like...
You're making the authenticity argument.
I don't like philosophically that he uses swear words. What I'm saying is I can tell when he kind of drops the act a bit and drops back into who he probably is backstage, he starts talking like that. Words start coming out he doesn't use on CNN when he starts actually kind of dropping into who Andrew Yang really is.
So what's funny is science backs up your position a little
bit. I couldn't imagine Andrew Yang on a debate stage saying, God damn, this shit's infuriating. But you know what? Yeah. I can imagine him anywhere else in the world without a camera saying that a lot. Because just seeing him, being around, just not like hanging out with him, but being at rallies, seeing him speak, seeing how he handles the crowd, especially even during speeches, man. I mean, he'll do stuff like this, and it's not like, oh, he said a swear word, awesome, but it's like there's just his personality's coming through there. Hey, some people just curse like sailors. They do. He appears to be one of those people from what I've seen, and it's just seeing him as actual personality come out is what's interesting to me. And I've just noticed throughout time when he's really feeling it and he's really having fun and he's really really in touch with the crowd at different events I've seen him with, yeah, you'll notice he'll start swearing, he'll start dropping into some more colorful language. Yeah. I think it's just who he is. That's how he came up. That's how he did stuff.
So you need to look into
and I like it. I appreciate seeing real Yang. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so let's dive into the science of your perception here.
There's no science. I just like it.
No. There is plenty of science, Cody. Okay, and so now let me set you straight. There's been actually all kinds of studies done into profanity and the perception thereof. And it has been proven that there is a correlation, we don't know if it's causation, but there is a correlation between the effectiveness of the argument and the amount of curse words in the argument, okay? That the perceived effectiveness on behalf of the recipient of the message is augmented when the giver of the message is using profanity, okay? And there's an interesting conundrum in between those that swear and perceived levels of honesty, that if you swear more often, you're perceived as more honest by those around you. But simultaneous studies show that those who swear often are most likely to actually engage in dishonest behavior. So there's this weird, strange correlation between the two.
There's a reason why. You notice something what you said right there?
Perception versus reality.
Why do you think people who perceive someone as swearing a lot perceive them as being more honest than them?
Because they think they're being more authentic, and authentic people are probably being more honest.
But here's the thing. People that don't view swearing as something to need to be self-censored would be like, what do you mean? Yeah, I still lie all the time. I just swear as well. What's the big deal? Because some people are like, well, I go out of my way to intentionally prevent the swearing. So I assumed you must be feeling the... I don't know. All I'm saying is this. What I feel is this. When Andrew goes up there and he says things that are not necessarily politically the most, dialed correct, I have to imagine it's because he's coming from the heart. So maybe that's what you're saying. When people are going up there and using swear words in areas where normally they would not, you imagine that this is more of a heart from the heart statement. And I agree. That's what I guess I get from him as well. It feels, but it legitimately does seem to be the more authentic stuff he says.
In the words of the Apostle Paul, can a bitter font bring forth sweet water, and can a sweet font bring forth bitter water?
Here, about this. Let me sum it up. I think if Andrew is just himself, he will win over a lot of people and be a very, very effective, charismatic, just kind of face and mouth for a lot of candidates running on UBI and other things across the country. I think that's one of the reasons why him boosting his brand, doing things like hosting his podcast, going on CNN is really important, is because he can then be this really popular voice and just this very popular brand for other people. And while now that he's out of the political ring as far as a candidate, yeah, sure. Swear like a sailor, man. Swear like a sailor, man. If that is him, if that's just how he talks, and that is the most Andrew of it is, I think it works the best. Because I said it before, but I did kind of smile when I read this yesterday, because I was just kind of like, yeah, there we go. That's the dude I remember. That's the guy I remember. It was right there. He was just being honest. We still debate. We'll go back. We can do another video if you want on his Trump's a better anchor for a weather balloon than I am speech he gave, which is very out of character, because that's what I said. Like, it's not necessarily the profanity of it that I'm interested in. It's when you can just feel it. It's hard to put into words where it's just, yeah, that's Andrew Yang not running this past a committee and just saying something. I like it.
Yeah. So Cody the Oracle hath spoken and fully endorsed Andrew Yang's sailor tongue.
But yeah, I like him.
So guys, make sure you follow us on PSP Radio 1, and we're going to be talking movies tonight. If you have a chance, check out Series 7, The Contenders. We're going to be doing our first video on our movie channel. There will be more announcements for said movie channel in the community posts on this channel, so you guys can all go over there and hang out with us as well. It's going to be a super fun experience. For Problem Solver Politics, make sure you follow us at PSP Radio 1 on your favorite podcast platform, on Instagram and on Facebook. All right. And if you can, please consider subscribing to the channel or becoming a member of this channel. It's a great way to keep this content coming your way. This is Problem Solver Politics. We will see you guys in the next video.